How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting. I'm sorry for the delay, and also sorry because this might be a shorter episode. Two reasons why, though. I'll jump into it. So, first of all, I had a bit of a health scare. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I have asthma. It's never been super severe, but it's annoyingly invasive in everything I try to do, especially if it's physical activity. With the weather getting warmer, I was like, all right, you know what? I want to be outside more. I want to be starting to get more active again. I want to start working out more because I just want to get healthier and kind of work on myself. And so I was like, I'll jump on my bike and go for a bike ride, just up and down. Like, I live in a place with a lot of hills, and so it's a challenging place to ride a bike, but it's a good way to get out. Go do a lap around the block, start getting a little wounded, and I'm like, all right, let's head back home. I get back home, I get off the bike, realize my winding is not done. It's getting worse. And I'm like, okay, looks like we're having an asthma thing here. So I wobble inside to get my emergency inhaler that, has me the medicine that helps take care of that, and lo and behold, I take the medicine, nothing happens. I'm still having problems. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm tight in my chest. My heartbeat feels really loud, and I can't catch my breath. Even now you might hear I'm a little breathy right now. And it's because I'm still technically suffering from this. But it was worse, and it was a little scary. So I was like, well, I don't think it's an emergency, but I'll go to an urgent care. Basically like a 24-hour, medical, stop shop. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. So I go there, we wait a minute, I get seen, they ask me these questions, and then after we kind of go through all the initial tests and everything, they kind of pull me aside and say, all right, look, here's the thing. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with you with asthma. It could be something else, and if it's something else, it could be bad. So I advise you go to the hospital. So I took that under advisement and went. 5 hours later, it came out. All my tests are looking fine, but the symptoms are still kind of clinging. I feel like they're slowly retreating, which is good. But basically, I spent time in the hospital when I would have been doing recording and editing and all that. So this is definitely coming out late. If I do it right, though, it only came out a day late rather than being entirely crazy late. So yeah, but because of that, I'm out of breath and I won't be able to get my breath back quite. So this might be a short episode just because I can only go for so long. So we're going to jump right in, see how we do. And hopefully it's not too rough on me, but let's get to it. So last time we're here with Takado-san's notes. We're here.
淡くて儚い、シャボン玉のような恋心。空を望めば、やがて壊れて消えるように、少女の思いは虚しく叶わなかった。流した涙は血の色となって生贄を求め、口をついた悲しみは怒りとなって殺意を生み出してゆく。純粋すぎる黒はすべてを飲み込んで闇を広げる。やがては自分自身さえも。目明かし。
Wait, actually, this is where we're getting that?
生まれてこなければよかったのか。血みどろの手は虚空すらつかめなかった。
AD 1983. So, that intro was interesting. The fourth year of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as Oyashio-sama's curse, 1 year after Satoshi Hyojo's disappearance. So we're up at the time of where we normally see. Alright, so that intro, this is Shion's story, right? And that intro seemed to be coming from her perspective, but as it went on, I had a thought, because it makes reference about how, the love that flew away was like a soap bubble, popped and was gone. And it talked about how it got turned inward into a murderous rage. So, while I would initially assume it would be Shion, I'm wondering, because Shion mentioned how she thought Mion might have had feelings for Satoshi as well. And so what I'm thinking is that might have been about Mion, because what we see is that what happens with Mion in chapter 2 is that she gets that murderous rage gets turned outward against Shion. We've never seen any indications that Shion becomes so upset that she's contemplating murdering somebody. But maybe we're going to be seeing that, because we're also entering the time period where things get loosey-goosey, where technically we don't really know which story is canon. Like there's canon events that seem to be tied to all the chapters we've seen, but different things happen in each chapter. And I'm not sure if there's a particular route that's specifically like, established canon, or if they're going to be established canon. So if there isn't an established canon, maybe we're about to watch Shion's descent into the madness of the curse, and something's going to happen with her. So let's find out, shall we? That could be interesting. Anyway, if I hadn't been able to get used to my new school in Okonomiya, but I had some friends there now. Since I got a part-time job in my relative's store, I had some extra pocket money too. I ended up living with my parents after all, so I didn't have to pay for living expenses. It felt great to get to freely spend money I earned from working. I still used the room Kasai set up for me from time to time. It was a convenient hideout for when I didn't want to see my parents. In fact, I was planning to spend a day there today.
ちくしょう、先行め。サボりのことを家に連絡しやがって。
Oh no, my teacher did her job. That terrible lady. My dad got upset, and that was why I didn't want to stay home, because I've been asking for it though. My teacher should know that my dad is Yakuza and that he gets really scary when he's mad. On the whole, my life had been going well so far, except for that it was boring. The reason I could enjoy this lifestyle was probably because I had to live in secret before. It was a great relief to be able to live without having to fake my identity. Well, that might have been a valuable experience. I think I learned from it. Maybe. I was going grocery shopping and thought I'd get enough food for a week or so. My parents would appreciate my presence more after missing me for a week. I was doing this for their sakes. Oh, wow, Shion. Well, my parents will probably be nicer to me if I just up and vanish and they don't know where I am for a week. That'll teach them. Because, they're in the wrong. They're not in the wrong.
あれ今日って確か100円セールのお店ってなかったっけそうだそうだ、間違いない。
Oh, baby, a sale. I knew how to save my pocket money. I was in a good mood, spun around with my arms spread out. Felt like I was inside a little whirlwind. My arm hit a motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't there when where it was supposed to be. Are we really going to repeat the same thing? Ow, and then she's going to kick the bikes over, they're going to fall over again?
もう、何こんなとこに止めてるの誰
Didn't we already do this scene? I gave the motorcycle a kick with no hesitation. There were 3 motorcycles lined up in a row. They all fell like dominoes. It was beautiful and so much fun. Oh, this was odd. Felt like I'd gone through this exact same experience before. Yep. While I'm blinking my eyes in an effort to recall when it was, some people grabbed me by the neck and dragged me to a dark alley. It's the same thing. It looked like these punks who were the owners of the motorcycles. They started shouting at me. This really was strange. I was having deja vu. Fucking. Like I was giving him like British slang and accenting here. That's funny. What is it? Sounds like he's trying to turn it into a motorcycle. Nope. That's right. It was when I met Satoshi-kun for the first time. He came to save me. If I pretended to cry again now, would he come save me again? I made a wish, and I started pretending to cry and beg for mercy. At that time, I doubted my ears. Oh my gosh. No wonder everyone kept comparing him to Satoshi. He's just like a second version of him. It was a boy about my age. I couldn't quite see his face because of the light illuminating him from behind.
Satoshi-kun?
Of course, it couldn't be him. It couldn't be. There he is! It's our boy with a full sprite! When I snapped out of my daydream, I realized it wasn't Satoshi-kun at all. He looked less gracious than Satoshi-kun, so to speak. If Satoshi-kun was pristine and untouched, and this guy would have scratches all over him. But although they were completely different, I got a similar impression from him somehow. This is also interesting because, again, back to chapter 2, because we'll reflect on a lot, obviously. It was Shion rescuing him at the motorcycles. The boy looked a bit taken aback.
いや、もう泣いてるんだから、それくらいで勘弁してあげてもいいんじゃないかな、なんて。
Wow, you undermined your whole really cool coming to the rescue shtick.
ああ、んなことを命にされとんじゃおらか。
うわー
Well, let's see him talk his way out, because that's the thing. Satoshi-kun was terrible at talking his way out of situations. Keiichi has a history of this.
タマ、暴力は良くないぜ。
What was up with this guy? I felt ashamed that I mistook him for Satoshi-kun even for a second. He seemed cool at first, but he wasn't as cool as Satoshi-kun after all.
いや、だから、バイクが倒れたのはお気の毒と思いますよ。でもですね、どうか機嫌を直されてですね、どうしたら機嫌を直してくださるんですかね。いや、もちろん私たちはお金なんか持ってないんですがね。
おお、そうじゃのう。金がのうならしゃー、体で払ってもおかないっちゃな。
Like, I think they're intending to make it sound like yeah, they're gonna beat him up. But, like, it sounds like they're asking him for some other favors. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Hey, are you kidding me? I tightened my grip on the stun gun in my pocket. Then I turned it up to the maximum intensity. Don't hold a grudge against me if you die, pervs.
おお、俺さ、一度カイコちゃんはべらせて街のべりたくてさ。
Fair. They're being informed by porn. Of course they're not going to have a good grasp on reality. This is gross.
ローじゃ。もっと着飾ってスカートもミニで。興奮さ。
Boys, I think if that's the case, you're doing things wrong, cause, yeah, no. They indulge in their imaginations, which arouse their spirits. Hey now, why you pervs closing in on me? Your gross hands are groping the air. Are you gonna try and violate me?
タイトミニもええの。
Oh my gosh, just scumbags.
ミニ。
We've entered Loopy Land. There's no way these are real people. Or even, like, fake real people.
上から下まで全部色っぽくしゃよ。
Also, this would send you to prison, I'm pretty sure.
肌色の面積を限りなく広げて萌え萌えの姿にしちゃるけ。
Specific. Why are we here? Just to suffer.
あんたら冗談でしょ。その汚い手で私に触れるな。
Then a flash of light cut through the air. What was that? What was that? The boy?
このボケなすどもが。
Blows like thunderbolts knocked the punks down. Wow, so he was actually strong after all.
なあ、何いてこまされたいんか。
お前らは分かっていない。分かっていない。
Oh, here we go. He's about to go into one of his like tirades where he's gonna somehow convince them that like there are better ways or there's a better path for the impure mind.
タイトミニには萌えがない。そして肌色面積は控えめに。
Keiichi, no! You can't just say that.
たとえお天道様が西から昇ることがあろうとも、絶対これは萌え業界の鉄則だ。
You know what? I'm like choking right now with my voice right there. I cracked twice, but we're keeping it. Maybe he just deserves to have what happens to him. Keiichi, why?
いいかよく聞け、ど素人ども。ホモ・サピエンスと動物の違いは何か。そう、衣服の着用だ。
And thus we must preserve the clothing.
つまり人は肌以外の衣服の彩りがあって初めて人なのだ。つまり肌色を求めすぎる貴様らは人以下。
I get fair. That's almost a legitimate thing.
動物と同じだ。
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm even hearing this.
貴様ら全員を強制する歯を食いしばれ先ほどタイトミニを引き合いに出したな。例えばここに美少女と呼ぶにふさわしい女の子がいたとする。美少女と一言に言ってもその裾野は広すぎる。それについて貴様らに抗議することは、寿司山芸者から入った外国人に侍の美学を一から説明するより困難この上極まりない。
Let me make sure I understand what you're saying here, Keiichi. To lecture on the subject is as difficult as explaining the spirit of Yamato to Yankees parachuting down from B-29s. What universe have I entered here?
だからここでは最も普及していると思われる制服系で説明することとする。制服系の御三家といえば何か答えてみろ。
Oh no. Alright, he's gonna be trying to divide up large category school uniforms. So, I'm guessing the school swimming suit, the skirt and blouse, or the tracksuit?
そうだな。制服、体操服、スクール水着だろう。
Oh no, I was actually right. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
なおセーラーかブレザーかの好みの違いは制服にカテゴライズするものとする。
I don't like that I got that right. Actually, now I take it back, please. I want to be completely wrong about that.
もちろんブルマかスパツかの違いも同様。スクミズも紺か白かの違いはあるぞ。カテゴリーは同じ扱いだ。どうだ、これだけでも甘美な響きがするであろう。
No, unfortunately, no. I mean, not unfortunately. I say unfortunately because the reason why you gotta think about the connection here. That unfortunately, the tie to the attractiveness of school uniforms is also tied to the age of the individual. Now, granted, I think that there's a level of that is pretty understandable because if you attended school with school uniforms and your first crushes were girls at your school, you likely associate cute girls in school uniforms with your first crush. And there's always going to be something, particularly magical about the first time you really felt like you felt powerful attraction to somebody. But it doesn't justify the borderline, predator type nature to these things.
ではお前ら3人がこれらのうちの一つずつが好みであったと仮定しよう。おい不良 A、 お前は制服だ。不良 B、 お前は体操服。そして不良 C はスクミズだ。頭に思い描け。時間は3秒。
Okay.
描けたか？
Sure.
妄想くらい自在にできろ。気合が足りん、やり直せ。
I'm such a visual person. I am picturing this in my head. Of course, right now, because he's talking about this, just the uniforms, it's only the uniforms in my head.
ではお前らの望む美少女がここにいて、
Alright,
その衣装を着ているぞ。あると思え、あると信じろ。気合を入れろ。返事はオスかさあイエスサーだ。
Sir, yes, sir.
バカ者、それでも軍人か。
No.
よーし、描けたようだな。次に進むぞ。それらの萌え衣装と貴様らの馬鹿げた浴場に従いお色気ムンムンなタイトミニスカート姿を見比べてみろ。
Holy crap, he's actually got a point. That's actually kind of interesting how he's walked that through. The guy who wrote this game, how does he think of this stuff? I think if you take off all their clothes, that's not cosplay anymore, is it?
最近まだ萌えと色気の違いのわからん未熟者が増えているが、実に嘆かわしい。
Humans without clothes aren't civilized, they're animals.
本能でしか女性の魅力を語れない貴様らは犬、猿、キジだ。きびだんごでももらって鬼ヶ島へでもうせろ。 Get back here！ ちなみに最近の東西雪解けに従い萌えもいろいろな類が大量に上陸しているな。
Oh, Keiichi, how do you know this? What are you
そんな
doing?
ことも知らんのか愚か者は。制服系と金髪を掛け合わせてアニメ系などという酸素と水素が掛け合わされて能登半島かわいいよ大爆発なんて組み合わせが出ているようだが、本館は断じて認めたりはしないぞ。制服は日本の文化だ、芸術だ。和洋折衷はこの世界には存在しない。 貴様ら聞いているのか、軟弱スルメどもが。歯を食いしばれ、今日は徹底的にしごく。貴様らが真の萌え文化を理解できるまで今日は寝られないと思え。
I was asking for a trademark Keiichi rant, but we're like, there's like Cloud 9 Nirvana. What's the opposite of Nirvana? Because that's where I am.
はい、指導指導指導。
At that point, I heard a bustle of people running this way.
前原さん、みんな呼んできました。
Oh, Tavita, he's again with classmates. I saw several kids running toward us. Seemed like our backup had arrived.
くそ。
やばいぞ、つながれ。
The three punks had just been standing there agape, but started running away when they saw that many people. Imagine.
さすが前原さんですね。たった一人であんな怖そうな3人組を釘付けにしちゃうなんて。
He had me too. I was standing here wondering whether I had transcended into some type of like lower dimensional plane.
3人の一人、鼻血出してましたね。
Gross.
前原さん、喧嘩も強いなんてすごいです。尊敬しま。
俺の固有結界もますます磨きがかかったようだな。
Oh my gosh, shut up.
今に監督の固有結界メイドインヘブンに太刀打ちできるくらいに磨きをかけてやるぜ。と、
Wait,
そんなことはいいや。
Reality Marvel. Like, that reference is a Fate reference. When did Fate come out? Didn't that come out in the 90s?
大丈夫かよ、ミオン。
The boy was apparently called Maibara. He turned to face me. Hang on. We got our face of our boy! And this will be good because we had like one of my first thumbnails of this section was Satoshi. So now I've got his counterpart here. Perfect. Even the way he mistook me for Mion sounded like Satoshi-kun. But Satoshi-kun isn't a pervert like him.
天下ごめんのミオンがどんな情け容赦のない必殺技で撃退してみせるかちょっと楽しみにして見てたんだぜ。
Maybe that's a better picture of him though.
まあさすがに男が3人がかりじゃきつかったってことか。そんなわけないよな。
I was still confused. I couldn't get grasp of the situation. Who was this guy? Mion had friends like him? I was still spacing out in shock. So I forgot to move until his hand touched my head. Oh no.
まあ半べそ書いてたのは見なかったことにするからさ。まあ元気出せよ。
You gotta give him props. He's a lot more confident than Satoshi. Rub. The boy called Maibara stroked my head roughly. It didn't feel good. It hurt actually. But still, his hand had the same warmth. Are you gonna trade Satoshi in for this, like, you know, clearly in your eyes inferior copy? Later on, Mion told me about him. He was called Keiichi Maibara. Keichan for short. He's one grade below us. Not only that, but he just moved to Hinamizawa. Thanks to his attitude and lack of manners, he'd already become an idol in their class. Mion joyously explained all this. Sure, he sounds like a fun kid. I knew why Mion was into him. So yeah, Mion, yep, just confirms it. But Satoshi-kun was way cooler. He wasn't worth stealing from Sis, or was he? So yeah, so the whole thing about her flirting with him was just because Mion liked him, and she's just like, just messing. My heart throbbed. I was excited. Felt like I'd got a new toy. I was curious as to see what kind of relationship Mion intended to build with him. I'd love to tease her about it.
ありがとう、ケイちゃん。よかったらお礼にお茶でもおごるよ。すぐ近くにおじさんの店があるし、どう?
Satoshi-kun would refuse out of modesty. But Keiichi Maibara said, okay, within 2 seconds. Well then, I couldn't wait to tease the two of them. My boring life suddenly became bright again. I love how that's been the motivation.
おい、腕なんかにしがみつくなよ。
あれ、こういうの嫌いですか?
She's definitely messing with him. Oh no.
いや、嫌いじゃないけど、胸が当たって、
胸が当たって何ですって?
Oh my gosh, down girl. Keiichi Maebara was fun. Mion thought the same way I did. She would always talk about him. I was happy for her. It made me smile.
お姉はケイちゃんのこと本当に気に入ってますね。ズバリケイちゃんの魅力を一言で示すと何です？そうだね。もしも一言でしか言っちゃいけないなら、やっぱり面白いとこかな。そうそう、この間の部活の時にさ。
Mion really liked him, but didn't seem to think it was. But didn't seem to think it was love yet. She's reserved in that area, so that was really like her. As for me, well, I didn't hate him, but my feelings weren't the same as Mion's. Kei-chan was just a little too childish compared to Satoshi-kun. I wonder if Mion's feelings for Satoshi were kind of the same, where she was fond of him, but didn't see him quite in the same level as Shion. And I could see her rationale being he's too cautious, because Mion definitely has appeals for people who are bold, brash, willing to put everything on the line for that win, right? Shion is more respects the calculating, well thought, and more reasoned type of individual, and that seems to be Satoshi. He seems to be more reserved, more cautious, but more earnest, I guess. I think if I were to compare myself between the two, I see a lot more of myself in Satoshi than in Keiichi. But I think it's kind of cool to see this comparison here. And like I said, she talked about how she feels like Mion might have had feelings for Satoshi. I don't think it was the same level as Shion for sure. I wonder how Satoshi-kun was doing. Was he waiting for things to cool down for somewhere far away? The case had already been solved, though. That dopehead was a murderer. There was no reason for him to wait anymore. I shook my head. I shouldn't think about it too much. Oh, wait, I know. The case was confidential, so the arrest of the culprit hadn't been made public. So Satoshi-kun hadn't realized that he could come back. I know that he's a little thick-headed. Maybe he'd be waiting for things to calm down till the end of time. But if so, couldn't he give a call to Satoko at least? He should tell her he's living at a faraway place, that he'd be coming home soon. Ah, that stupid Satoko. She'd been living with Rike Furude since Satoshi went away, so nobody would pick up on the phone even if he called. Stupid girl. Don't you want your big brother to come home? Give Satoshi-kun his personality. He wouldn't remember any phone numbers other than his home phone number. So it wouldn't be able to connect to anybody in Hinamizawa. Maybe he'd be calling Satoko every night. He keeps ringing, but nobody picks up. I mean, again, she has this bitterness towards Satoko because she kind of blames her for what happened, which is very unfair. And another thing I point out, Satoko is so young. There's no way she could just live in that house by herself. It'd be really cruel. Having her stay with Rika is way better regardless. Then he'd assume Satoko might be taking a bath or be in the restroom. He put on a puzzled smile while mumbling, like always.
Moo.
I imitated his voice without realizing it.
それでえ、何？何？どうし今シオン何か言わなかった？
I laughed it off and urged Mion to continue. I realized then that her tone had changed. I hadn't been listening to her because I was thinking about Satoshi-kun. I thought she was still happily talking about Kei-chan. But Mion sounded grim now. Her faint smile looked pitiful. It was too late to ask what was going on. So instead I could concentrate on her story instead.
でね、おじさんが今日は盛り上げてくれてありがとうって言って、
Oh, about the doll
売り
thing.
物のお人形をみんなに一個ずつ配ったの。私以外の全員に。
He gave everyone a doll as a thank you gift, everyone except for me. This is the events in chapter 2 when they went to help at the toys drive, right? And he gave everyone a toy but her.
お姉以外の全員にね。そりゃあ私も欲しかったけどさ。
Aww.
みんなの手前、私にもちょうだいとは言い出せなかったし。
And I think it's so funny because it seemed so odd to me at the time, why she was getting so pent up on it. And I thought ultimately it was about Keiichi, giving it to Rena, but I think it goes deeper than that. Mion is the demon. She's been put on the pedestal for the family, right? It kind of means that when she comes around, everyone listens to her, but it also probably means they're all on eggshells around her too, right? They don't treat her like another kid. They don't treat her like they treat her friends. Sure, in public, they make it seem like they're treating her the same, but when push came to shove, I don't think it was a malicious thing her uncle did. It might have been. I mean, internal family politics are that intense and probably more about subterfuge than anything else. So it could have been a political jab, but on the other hand, it also could have just been as simple as they don't view her as a child and thus assumed that she wouldn't want to participate or be given toys like the other children did, because in their eyes, they kind of see her already as the head of the family. So whether it was out of political malice and meant to be like a jab at her and her grandmother in turn, or it was an unintentional jab because they don't view her as a child any longer, it's got to feel very isolating for Mion. I totally can get it. I still sympathize with her.
相変わらずお姉は自分の欲しいものを欲しいと言えない人ですね。
Well, I mean, it's hard to just go like, hey, I want a toy. Can you give me a toy, uncle?
それで
Mion sniffled. I realized that she was on the verge of tears.
ケイちゃんの袋にはね、
Ah,
一番可
yeah.
愛いお人形が入ってて、そのお人形が一番欲しかったってわけ？別に何のお人形だってよかったんだよ。ケイちゃんは私だけもらってないって知ってたのに、
Oh, yeah.
私にくれなかった。
That does suck.
私にくれなかった。
Because she has feelings for him. She doesn't call it love yet, but it's creeping that direction. And then he just gives it to Rena instead. Rena already had one. So it wasn't even like he was being considerate just choosing between two people. At the time, I remember when we go into his head, it was a very spur of the moment thing. He didn't even think about it. It wasn't even like, he didn't put thought into it at all. He just kind of gave it. And then just with that, you just stabbed her right in the heart and had no idea, because she internalizes everything so much. I don't think she even knew at the time how much it hurt her until after the fact.
ミオンには似合わないよなって言って、
Oh gosh, I forgot he said that.
次に生まれてくるとき、
Oh, fetch! Did he say that?
男に生まれてこいって
I don't remember that. That's horrible.
言われたんだよ。
Fetch me.
言われたんだよ。
Keiichi. Yeah. That sucks. That was Keiichi's weak point. He might be fun and popular, but he wasn't mature. Not like Satoshi-kun.
やり直したい。ケイちゃんに出会った最初の頃からやり直して、今度はちゃんと女の子だと思ってもらえるように
It would help if you didn't.
やり直したい。
It would help if you hadn't always referred to yourself as an old man with creepy, like, creepy jokes. Like, that sets the tone pretty strong.
お姉、深刻すぎですって。お姉がやり直したいと思って、しかも向こうが何もトラブってない状態なら全然セーフじゃないですか。互いに傷つき合ってただれちゃうと、まあやり直しも面倒でしょうが。やり直せるかな。
Oh, this is how it starts. Mion starts pretending to be Shion because it gives her an opportunity to start over. She can introduce herself as a twin sister and be more womanly, girly, and then eventually reveal herself and be like, hey, look, I'm actually Mion this whole time. And I just wanted you to see me differently. That actually could have worked. It's a clever idea. Kind of manipulative, like super manipulative, but when all's said and done, if I were in Keiichi's shoes and that was the sequence of events that didn't involve the eventual death and murder, I would probably be able to look past it and probably be more blown away that Shion existed, like I was. But the downside is it reminded me again, there's almost like I tell you, like the Sunrider series, you haven't played that series, like play it, but there's a whole sequence of events in that game, especially in Sunrider Academy, which is like the management dating sim version of the core game. It's like, it's so weird to say it like that, but trust me, that's what it is. It's actually pretty fun. And in that game, they have an emotional sequence where it has a similar kind of plot to these two, except it takes it to an emotional extreme where I was genuinely depressed by it. I was so downtrodden emotionally by it, I had to step away from the game for a few weeks and process, and I would come back to it and play it a little bit, get immediately smooshed back down emotionally, and have to step away again. It took forever for me to finish that route because of it. It was awful. So in that regard, if they, like, the trouble that would happen is that you may be doing the switchy routes for a little while, but if you made it pretty clear that they could swap on you and you'd never be able to tell, or especially if you hold it against him for not being able to tell, that could make an emotionally destructive relationship. So it'd be so bad.
ケイちゃんの前で涙を流してないなら、そもそも何も手遅れじゃないんです。お姉がこの場で適当に涙して、明日から心を入れ替えていけば修正可能ですって。うん。そりゃケイちゃんのデリカシーのなさには呆れますけど、その結果は結局、今日までのお姉の積み重ねてきた結果なわけですから。今日からの生活を少しずつ改めて、ポイントを稼ぎ直せばいいだけのことです。
Well, normally you'd be right, but he's Keiichi. Keiichi's kind of stones float better than that boy does.
生活を改めるって、どうやって？お姉に可愛らしくしろって言うと、明日からフリフリの格好で登校しかねませんからね。
Right.
変に構えないで、普段通りに行きましょう。でも、細かい部分でこれまでの違いを見せていく。
Yeah, stop talking about being an old man.
そこがさりげないポイント。
Cautious of Rena.
あと、人形をもらったレナという子には釘を刺しておくこと。
I mean, she's not wrong.
現在のケイちゃんの中では、お姉よりもレナの方が高ポイントの可能性が高いです。
And that's an interesting point because I got the impression that he kind of is defaulting towards Rena, but I never felt he overtly had hot feelings for her specifically. I think he was part of him, I think subconsciously was starting to, but his conscious mind never had settled on anybody. Ironically, I feel like of the girls we see him kind of pursuing in any, which is big air quotes there, in any of the routes, the closest one I saw him getting truly emotional bonding with was Satoko. But again, I don't know if that was even remotely leaning in the romantic side of it. I think he was just getting really protective of her. He just was the most overtly emotionally bonded to her. And man, Mion, you got plenty to work with. You're fantastic. You're in my opinion, I still say, as far as I've seen, you're still the best character. You'd be the person, despite you're crazy, you'd be the person I'd be the most interested in. Being friends with and any of all that. Assuming, again, I'm in Keiichi's shoes or in that area. Don't get the wrong idea. YouTube has a tendency to get the wrong idea about this kind of stuff, which is why I feel like it was Steam too. That's why Steam is always so put the hammer down on all the visual novels, right? Banning them outright for having some ecchi scenes, but full on porn games, sure, we can just have those on the platform, no problems there. But if it's a visual novel, anime characters, can't have it.
確かにレナは女の子っぽいしな。可愛いし、海外しいし。ライバルがいるならうかうかできませんよね。涙は男を引き寄せる力がありますけど、つなぎ止めておく力はありません。
Yeah, tears can attract men, but they don't anchor them.
普段は笑ってて、ポイントで泣く。萌えの典型パターンの一つかもです。
You speak like you have all this, dating experience, Shion. You didn't even date the boy you love. You just admired him from afar, pretending to be a different person 90% of the time you knew him.
私もケイちゃんに実践してみるかな。ダメだよ。
Oh, poor Mion.
お姉が気に入る男の子ですからね。私が気に入らない道理はありませんから。さーて、ケイちゃんをどう引き込んでみせようかな。
Shion, you're so mean.
なんならお姉、どっちがケイちゃんの気を引けるか。
Oh no! You can't do that to her! That's the one thing she can't back down from!
やだもう絶対やだ。シオン、ひなみざわに来たら追い返す。
I'm happy for you, sis. It's not too late at all. It's important to know the distance between the boy you love and yourself, and shift the way you appeal to him to compensate. The boy I love is missing, you know? I don't even know where he is, or when he's coming back. Compared to that, you're very lucky. Mion was saying she'd do her best for tomorrow with the red, tearful eyes, but I sensed a deep negative feeling emerging inside me. Nobody was blaming Mion for being happy with Keiichi. I wasn't envious. I wasn't jealous. I didn't want her to be blamed the same way I was blamed. It was just that there was no space for Satoshi-kun in Mion's mind anymore. Filled as it was with Kei-chan and her other friends now. It didn't matter to her if Satoshi-kun came back or not. Just like how she didn't care if it was sunny or rainy tomorrow. What about me then? Had I been thinking about Satoshi-kun all the time for the past year? I wasn't proud of my own answer. I'd become used to life without Satoshi-kun. His absence didn't hurt me anymore. I was getting used to life with Keiichi Maribara. And if I let my guard down, he might just fill up the space I'd been saving for Satoshi-kun. If Shion Sonozaki had prayed harder for Satoshi-kun to return, he might have come home already. When did Satoshi-kun go? Last year, right after his disappearance, I paid close attention to the information circulating in the Sonozaki family and its underground connections. And I frequently went to the police station to check with Oishi for new information. Even with all that, I couldn't get any new leads on his whereabouts. I eventually became interested in Oyashiro-sama's curse, which surrounded Satoshi-kun's disappearance. I researched the dark history of the village. The more I looked into it, the less likely he seemed to his survival seemed. I'd returned to Mio-san's scrapbooks to her, and then I hadn't gone to the library since. I started a new life and a new school. I'd made new friends. And in the same way, as falling leaves cover the ground, I felt I was losing sight of what was really important to me. It was already almost the end of spring. They said the summer was coming early. It'd be very hot this year. Normally it'd be rainy season now, but we'd had no rain at all. The Watanagashi festival was right around the corner. It'd been almost a year since Satoshi-kun went missing. In Hinamizawa, they don't allow you to talk openly about Oyashiro-sama's curse or the series of mysterious deaths. So everybody acts like the murder of Satoshi-kun's aunt never happened. That's because Satoshi Hyojo was a member of the merged family of traders. He fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse on the 4th year running. He was demoned away. Everybody who was trying to forget about his existence and erase their memories of him. Don't make him disappear because of the curse. Don't erase his existence. Satoshi-kun was living in Hinamizawa just a year ago. He went to school. He was an A student. He was a member of the Hinamizawa fighters. He could never hit a ball when it really mattered. He was unreliable but pure. He was warm. Because of the curse, people made him disappear. They stopped mentioning his name, acted like he never existed. A new resident like Keiichi Maribara wouldn't even know him. Which is true. He seriously believes that Satoshi-kun had transferred out. I miss you, Satoshi-kun. I want to go shopping with you again. I want to be in a baseball game with you again and get a cold drink afterwards. I want to tease you, and I want you to stroke my head again. Your hand was so warm. I felt as if my whole body was being caressed. Satoshi-kun. God, that sucks. I haven't opened this notebook in a while. My feelings have been written down for over 150 pages. This notebook is the key to my heart. The other me who's been sleeping since last year is slowly waking up. Notebook, page 150. Interesting. Well, welcome back, trio. Haven't seen your faces in a while.
男の子なら仕方がないのですよ。みーちゃんもしーちゃんも、ケイチくん困ってるよ。
ですってよ、お姉。大岡越前じゃあるまいし、このままケイちゃんが引きちぎれるまで引っ張りっこします。
Aw, poor Mion.
引っ張りっこなんかしてないよ。シオンが引っ張らなければ済むことでしょ。シオンは沖宮に帰れ。はい、了解。そうしますね。パッと。
Let him go. Yep. I let go of Keiichi suddenly, so he and Sis flew like a rubber band. Keiichi rolled on the ground while Sis was stuck in a bush head first. What lively people.
じゃあケイちゃん、これ以上からかうとお姉に噛みつかれかねないので、今日はこれで帰りますね。
あ、シオン、そのさ、今日はありがとな。
ああ、あんなのお安いご用です。あの程度で恩が着せられるならいくらでもってくれ。
じゃあまたな、シオン。
His hand landed on my head. Rub, rub, rub. He stroked my head pretty roughly, but the warmth reminded me.
ああ、じゃあすみませんね。今日は失礼します。またね、お姉。二度と来るなーレナは紹介。サトコはトラ。リカちゃんは塩巻いて。
Purify with salt! Keep the demon away! The warmth remained on the top of my head. Felt ticklish and sore. Had to stop. I got off my mope. Is that moped? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen it written down before. Got off my moped and pushed that aching spot against the telephone pole. I'm sorry, Satoshi-kun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'll never forget about you. I still remember you. I'm worthless without you. I can't stand life without you because it's gray and cold and boring. It's true, it's true. I can never smile because you aren't here. I can't.
じゃあまたな、シオン。
Keiichi's face appeared in my mind. I recalled the touch of his head stroking my hand stroking my head. It wasn't warm. It wasn't happy. It was rough and painful. I hate that insensitive guy. He's too childish, rude, and cold. He's like a stray dog. It wasn't happy. It wasn't warm. I wasn't happy or overjoyed at all. Oh no, she was. God sucks. She's like feeling like she's betraying his memory because she's feeling happy again about another person. Just honestly, it's a small encapsulation of grief. And like, I imagine this must be so hard. Like, imagine you marry somebody, the love of your life, right? And like, even if you have a family together or not, but if something tragic happens and they pass, right? Like, what do? Do you just dust it off? Go on and start dating people again? Probably not. I don't know. It depends. But I would imagine that you wouldn't. But you probably feel lonely, right? You'd miss them terribly. But you start putting your life together, right? You start moving on. They stop being as present in your mind because, you know, you have life to live and other people to be with. And you can't always focus on the tragedy. But then somebody enters your life and they start filling that void in that way. You start feeling yourself falling for them. But the thing is that those memories are still there, right? And so, but you can't have room for them both. So they slowly start pushing out the other. And that's gotta feel horrifying. So much pain. Satoshi-kun mumbled. He didn't know what to say in a situation like this. But he knew that he had better say something. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. So he just mumbled. I'm sorry, Shion. Why are you apologizing, Satoshi-kun? I'm the one who should apologize. Even though I said I'd wait for you, even though I believed my heart wouldn't change, my heart is full of holes. You're leaking out from the small cracks in my heart little by little. You're leaking out from me. Are you suffering because I'm here? Why? You're so precious to me. So don't say that. I've been here with you this whole time. But I think I'm hurting you by continuing to exist. I don't want that. That's not true. No, no, no. Why have you been here, Satoshi-kun? You weren't with me. Tell me where you are. What's the address? What's the postal code? What's the name of the city? What's the street number? Tell me. There isn't an address. I knew it. Telling me you've always been with me, always by my side, that's such cliche. Which you prefer, Shion? If I can give you my strength, I'll stay by your side forever. But if you're suffering because of me, I'll disappear right away.
そんなこと、一緒がいい。一緒がいいよ、サトシ君と。いつまでも一緒がいい。
Okay, I'll stay with you then. That's implying that there's like a genuine imprint or a shade actually there, which Keiichi did think was there too. A car passed by. The noise snapped me out of my reverie. The sky was turning orange. I should go home before it gets cold. I should go home to Okanomiya. You're with me, right? Are you with me right now, Satoshi-kun? I walked back to my moped. My feet sank into the grass. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I stopped when I reached my bike, but then I heard an extra footstep. Oh my gosh, what the? I gasped. I could feel somebody else's presence. I'm not stupid. Nobody else was around here. Nobody had suddenly appeared behind me, so I wasn't surprised to find nobody when I turned around. But he was definitely still there.
Satoshi-kun.
I couldn't see him, but he was there. He was there for me. Satoshi-kun never lies. He said he'd be with me all the time. I'd just been too insensitive to feel his existence until now.
Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun.
Wait a minute. I just had a thought. Because again, I still think that everything's tangible, that there's no actual curse and there's no actual spirits, right? I think it's grounded in reality, and I just had a thought. A horrifying thought. Because I think if I were to go back and look, I might be able to see everything I've been missing up until this point, right? What we were implying before, we're implying that the extra footstep might be surveillance. Like, master stealthy, like, basically private investigators working with the Yakuza, stalking people, following them, gathering intel, right? So what if that's what's happening here? She wants to ascribe it to Satoshi-kun's presence, because she desperately wishes that he's still here some way, somehow. I'm going to put that aside. Because, yeah, the thing is, if metaphysical is the answer, if it is a curse, if it is real, I can't do anything about that. Until it gets confirmed that it's there, I can't rationalize that very well. So I'm going to put that aside for now. We're going to pretend that's not real. For anybody who thinks that's incredible. Let's focus on this physical one, right? So she senses another presence. Her instincts kick in saying there's somebody watching you, and she hears a second footstep of somebody who's kind of like nearby, but who's well hidden and able to keep themselves camouflaged and out of sight because they're professionals. Here's the thing. Why would somebody be following her? Why now of all times? There's something here. Like, I don't know if I'll go back far enough, but here. Okay, here, the conversation. And Mion's here. Don't ever come here again. Rena, keep your eyes on her. Satoko, set traps. Rika, purify the area with salt. I was just saying, Mion isn't being treated like a kid. She's being treated like the head of the family. How does Oreo give commands to the people that she needs to make things happen, but can't overtly say because it would be bad, dangerous, or leave a trail? She says something in passing, it would be nice, it would be a shame, or I really wish this, right? And people hear it, and they take it as instructions. So if at the festival preparation site where we were at that event, and Mion's freaking out and having a bit of an emotional moment, and she says loudly, exclamation point saying, she's basically shouting, don't come here again, keep your eye on her, set traps, purify the area. If somebody's listening to that, and just like with Oreo, is taking it as suggestions of the next courses of action that need to be taken with the family, that's an order that is being executed. And then, within a few hours, she hears a footstep behind her. What if the entire time this has been happening, in all the different routes we've seen, when people start hearing those footsteps, when Keiichi starts feeling those footsteps, what if it's simply Mion accidentally or on purpose giving orders to have it done? What if something she says in passing when she's just being a kid is being heard by the Yakuza family and being executed on her behalf? What if these are events being put into motion using the tradition we now already know and understand is the method in which orders are given from the head of the families, but is accidentally being attributed to actual events when Mion is saying them? Could we go back into the other chapters and see her essentially giving orders to either eliminate, execute, or follow specific people? Keiichi most often, but Satoko, or Rika, or Rena. All of it. What if that's what's actually happened all this time? What if that's the answer I've been missing for so many of those bullet points I couldn't find connections for? Because the real sinister part of it is Mion might not even realize that she's doing this yet. Because while she's recognized as the head of the family, she might not recognize the method that Oryu has used to communicate. She might have an idea, but she might not realize the family's also listening to her actions that same way. And if that's the case, she accidentally has put a hit on Shion now. And when these people, Rika, Satoko, and then Shion, and then Keiichi, are eventually brought to the house, she has to act on it because she's terrified that she now has to she has to enter to the role of the family leader, recognizes that she did give orders, and that she would look weak to a Yakuza family if she were to suddenly renounce these orders and the efforts that they put in to follow through with them. Putting her in a corner where she feels she has no choice but to follow through. And she can't think her way out of it. And so she ends up killing her friends. And it drives her mad. What if that's how this all goes down for her? What if that's what really happens? It still doesn't explain everything. I don't get how she was apparently dead by throwing herself inside or falling down that ladder when she was trying to escape the police. And they said that she had died. But then she later that night stabs Keiichi, and then Shion dies locked in her apartment. Unless Shion had a mental break when she learns that Mion died, and she goes back pretending to be Mion to exert her revenge. That's the best I can think of as a possibility, right? Thatch me. That feels right. That feels like I'm onto something there. Oh boy. A breeze tickles my hair. It felt cold. But to me, it was nothing but the warmth of his hand. To me, it took me a while to notice that my cheeks were wet with tears. I really think I've got something here. I really think I do. It would answer a lot of questions, and I think it could be something I could verify if I went back and actually checked out all my videos. I think I could see that pattern. Because that would be so sad, but so fitting, wouldn't it? I was too scared to sleep. If I went to sleep, I might not find Satoshi-kun there in the morning. So I kept talking to him until I passed out. I told him about what happened while he was missing. I told him I'd realized how much I loved him after he went away. I'd searched for him, looking in various different things. I'd gathered underground information to Kasai and bargained for police information with Oishi, but I couldn't find any leads. A long time passed, and I kept thinking about him. Now again, if she's being observed and she's talking to the air, and she mentioned that she bargained with the police for information, that's going to mark her as a traitor. Etc., etc. I told him all the small details from my daily life, the places I wanted to go with him, the things I wanted to do with him, the food I wanted to share with him, and I told him a lot of things. I was sitting up at first, but I got tired, so I lay down. I got tired of moving my mouth too, so I started thinking to him in my mind. It was the happiest night I'd ever had. When I woke up, I didn't find Satoshi-kun by my side. I knew it somehow. I was afraid of it, that was why I didn't want to go to sleep. But at least I got to see him for one night. Just one, I'd resigned myself to that. I felt Satoshi-kun's presence again. It wasn't a dream after all, I thanked God. And so I began my strange life with Satoshi-kun. As promised, Satoshi-kun was always by my side. He couldn't laugh, mumble, or stroke my head, but he was always with me, always right by my side. He disappeared sometimes, but he'd come back when I looked for him. It seemed that all I could hear were his footsteps. That's just the way it was. It was a bit sad, but I was still satisfied. Now here, either way, this is horrifying and depressing. Either I'm right, it's all just physical, and it means that she's just being stalked and she's attributing it all to, like, her happy daydream, which is just sad and really depressing. Or the spirit realm's real. Satoshi's actually here, confirming that he's dead, or he is Oyashiro. You know, the curse is pretending to be him, and that's also horrifying. There's no happy things here. This music is a lie. His presence was really faint, so it was hard to sense him in a crowd. But he never left me. If he were tangible, I'd be taking his hand all the time so he wouldn't be lost. In contrast, I could feel him very strongly in a quiet environment. Of course, I couldn't tell what his expressions were because he was just a presence. But after I got used to it, I could tell what he was thinking. And at first, I could only tell what he was tell if he was laughing or not. Eventually, I started to feel his emotions more strongly. I could communicate with him normally. I was usually alone with him, though. I didn't want to go to school or hang out with my friends anymore. But Satoshi-kun got upset about that. He'd kept mumbling unhappily. Now I knew that he'd always be with me. I shouldn't just stay home all the time. I was sticking to my time alone with him, however, because I was scared that he might suddenly disappear again, and I wanted to make sure most of the time I was sharing with him right now. I must have been worrying too excessively. Satoshi-kun will always be by my side. Yeah, that was his promise. He never breaks his promises. I was fine because he was there. Of course, I couldn't tell anybody about him, not even Sis. I could try to explain it to them, but they'd never understand. But I was certain that he was with me. So, I'd be alright. I never got fed up with the life with him. He's really cute, you know? We always walk together, but when I stop, he always walks one step extra. That's so adorable, I love it. Notebook page 159. Oh, sister, no. That's not good.
シオンさんはどうなさいますか
Oh.
今夜の綿流しのお祭りは。
行って適当に遊ぶつもりです。お姉とその愉快な仲間たちでもからかうかな。
I wanted to go to the festival of Satoshi-kun. I know he'd like to see me having fun with everybody. He might get jealous if I play with Keiichi. But Satoshi-kun isn't very sensitive in that way. Satoshi-kun loved to see me and my friends having fun. So I should have lots of fun for his sake. Then I'd talk about the day with him later.
何でHinamizawaに行きますか
Why are you asking so many questions, man? Is it because you're worried about her? That she might get, like, executed? Maybe he sees that she's being watched, and he's, like, really nervous that she's going to be taken out as part of the ritual?
車で行くならお送りしますよ。
スクーターで行くからいいや。
それはいけません。帰りに本家に寄られて、親類の宴会に加わられるんでしょ居眠り運転などさせられません。
That's fair. He won't let me drive, but he's kind enough to let me drink.
じゃ、お世話になりますかね。
わかりました。では、夕方に出発しましょう。そのくらいの頃にお迎えに参ります。
After Kasai left, I sensed that Satoshi-kun was excited to be going to the festival.
Watanagashiか。サトシ君がいなくなっちゃってから、もうすぐ1年になるんだね。
Satoshi-kun seemed confused.
でしょ
We laughed together. I might have to stop here, unfortunately. I'm feeling pretty winded.
Higurashi!
Okay. I know it's not ideal, but I'm going to end here. I know we're probably pretty close to the end, but it sounds like we're going to go through the Watanagashi stuff. It's probably going to be a summarized version, but I still think we'll just go for that. I know it's not the most, but I'm really like feeling out of breath, especially after my little monologue there. I still think I'm onto something, though. I feel like it's a decent place for us to end. So, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel and listening to my ranting and raving, but it's been a blast. So it seems to me what we're going to be recreating most likely is going to be the Chapter 2 scenes, but we're seeing it from Shion's perspective, which is going to be interesting considering how she will eventually be taken into the catacombs and prepared to be tortured by her own sister. I do want to see how that all went down because that's a very interesting concept to me. I want to know how that all happened and whether Mion willingly wanted it to happen or if it kind of was just she got caught up in things going way too far and it just got out of hand. I don't know. I don't know which is worse, honestly. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you don't mind it was late, but hey, at least I got it out there, right? So hopefully you're looking forward to next week's episode, and hopefully it will be on time. But thank you so much. I appreciate you all. You're wonderful people. You're a wonderful community, and I don't deserve you. Especially the patrons and members. Again, this channel's not big enough to really justify, because it's not like I can make this a full-time job anytime soon, really. But I'm working towards that goal. I'm striving for it. I feel like we can build the community up enough and we can share these good stories together. And those of you who are already part of that, it shows so much faith in me that I don't have the words to express truly how I feel. But I do know that I can use the what you do share with me to try and help make good art for the channel, try and help the channel better, and give like the resources to help. It just all goes straight to the channel. So thank you for your support. But for now, we have to go. So thank you. And until the next video you watch with me, I have to see me in next. See you there.